being recorded. Click, got it. Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Sally Piccirillo, and I'm the co-president of AAUW Del Mar-Leucadia. But before we start this wonderful Tech Trek and Speech Trek program today, the branch is going to hold a brief annual meeting. This is a requirement that we need to fulfill. So the meeting is now called to order at 2:08 p.m. on Sunday, May 15th, 2022. So this annual meeting is to hold a vote on the proposed slate of directors for 2022 and 2023. So I'm going to read that slate right now. I guess before I do that, we did establish that we have a quorum of at least 10 of our members. So everybody want to raise your hand if you're a member?
Oh, we have way more than 10.
Okay, great. All right. So now I'm going to read the slate. Karen Dorney, Teresa Capon, Bobby Carnes, Pat Moran, Sally Piccirillo, Norlyn Piongaro, Linda Quinby, Jane Sanders, and Rochelle Smar. So this is the proposed slate of directors for 2022-2023. With a quorum established, the vote is now open. All in favor of the proposed slate of directors for 22-23 say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. All right, the slate of directors for 22-23 has been approved. Congratulations. The directors will be installed at the June 11th meeting. The annual meeting is now adjourned. So please welcome Tech Trek Chair Lorraine Fall.
Thank you. And it's really delightful to have you here today, and thank you very much for coming. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about AAUW because for people who aren't members, won't know, AAUW stands for American Association of University Women. It was started in 1881. It's a nationwide organization. There's a state organization and different regional organizations. And Tech Trek is part of AAUW National. And this year we worked as a team with Rebecca Hill, Linda Quinby, and who you'll hear from later, and Betty Reed. And we've helped get the bulk of the work done. And our mission from AAUW, amongst many things, is essentially to advance gender equity for women and girls through research, education, and advocacy. These are some of the things that we have achieved and that we're still working on. We are working on legislation. We worked on Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. The AAUW was instrumental in getting votes for women, and we're, as I said, really very much into equity for all people, but we're more on the women's side. It's interesting to know with Tech Trek that in the past, more than 73% of people, when surveyed people who went to the camp, said that Tech Trek introduced them to STEM college majors of which they were previously unaware. And 87% of the girls said that Tech Trek introduced them to new STEM careers. Tech Trek has been going for over 20 years, started off at Stanford University, and we have another program which you're going to hear about today, which you'll see down the bottom, which is a new speech trek, which is helping girls to express themselves and their ideas very clearly. And The tech trek is for girls in year 7 going into year 8, and the speech trek is for people who are in high school.
Hey,
Now,
Lorraine,
yes,
I don't see your slide if you are sharing.
let me double check that.
Okay, great.
Please, now I am share screen. Sorry, I thought it was already up. My apologies. And
Yep, you're loading up now.
thank you very much for letting me know that.
Of course, thank you.
So as I said, the legal side, tech trick side, and the speech trick side in high school. Now, after that, we still want to be out there helping you make it through college. And we have scholarships for girls in college. And we're hoping to do more mentoring programs. And we also have opportunities to work as part of Tech Trek within the camps, which is really impressive on your resumes to show that you followed through something for several years. Today, we've had Sally give us a welcome, and I've got great pleasure introducing you to Romy Bagel. Romy is one of our Tech Trek girls from 2010. So Romy went to Tech Trek here 12 years ago. She's a graduate of San Dieguito High School Academy and the all-team president of Team Paradox Robotics team. She has a BS in Industrial and Management Systems Engineering and a BA in Liberal Studies from Montana State University. She was a presidential scholar and is an employee of Montana Space Grant Consortium's Space Public Outreach, where she was talking to students about NASA missions. Currently, she's a Boeing industrial engineer focusing on process improvement for the 787 airplane program. And so we warmly welcome you, Romy, and it's over to you.
All right, I will get my presentation open and share my screen. While I am doing that, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to everyone going to the Tech Trek camp this year. I know it's changed a lot since I went in 2010, but I really... Okay, mic fine. Hello. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did the physics option and I made a model rocket. Come on. Continue. I have a new computer, so it's fussing with me. I believe I sent my presentation over.
Yes, would you
share?
Would you like me to get Sally to go ahead with yours and with her presentation, and then you can get yours set up, Romy?
Yeah, that would be great. I apologize. New computer, new settings.
No problem at all. Thank you. Yep. Sally, are you okay to start with these?
Yes. If you want to go back up one slide there. Oh, I didn't realize that's the intro.
Yes.
You can do the intro.
You've met Sally. She joined AAUW in 2012. She's our Tech Trek. She's been a Tech Trek chairman for about 4 or 6 years in other AAUW branches. Sally worked in aerospace for 42 years, retiring in 2008. Some of the projects she worked on were the first lunar landing, Skylab, Solar One, the first ever solar power project, International Space Station, and the Boeing Satellite Systems, SEIT. Now, back 40 years ago, there were really no computer programming programs. But then in 86 to 88, a lot more of them started, and Sally got a Bachelor in Science Information Systems and is an authenticated systems and software engineer. She was also nominated to be a Boeing Technical Fellow. So I was kind of thinking, are you a fellow or a gal?
That's an interesting question.
And I'll pass this over to Sally now.
Thank you. Well, I did thank you, Lorraine. That was really nice. And I just wanted to talk today, especially to the Tech Trek girls, about the passion of a STEM career. And we don't really talk about that much, but you can go to the next slide, Lorraine. So I will talk to you about my 42 years, and then I want to tell you how exciting it is to be part of STEM and what you can achieve, and then ultimately what your future opportunities are. First, I'd like to say I'm proud of Romy. Romy is a fellow Boeing employee, even though I'm retired. You know, and here she is, she's doing things that she'll be talking to you about, but in the 1980s, I was one of 10 women in management in our division. And we were struggling, you know, it was a fight to get there and we didn't know what to do. We were coming up with a mission. And when somebody said, you know, we're entitled to eat in the executive dining room. Whoa. So we made our reservations. And I can tell you the day that the 10 of us opened the door to the executive dining room, when we walked in, I can't even describe to you the silence, the shocked look on this all-male bastion. And there we were, the hand-picked leaders, women leaders in the company. And the first one went to the salad bar, and the second one followed, and we all followed like 10 little Indians. We all ordered the same thing. Here we were trying to make our statement, but we were very, very nervous. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So Romy, I'm glad to see that you're in a position where you won't have to do that. Lorraine, we can go to the next slide. So my career began with the race to the moon, and I only had a 2-year degree, which was sort of common in my generation. And so I began as an assistant to hardware engineers. Now, 1966, we had computers, but they were in big rooms, big, huge rooms with subfloors. They were temperature controlled. You had to wear a lab coat to be in there. And I mean, it's really hard to believe when you look back 60, 50, 60 years to think that that's what it was. But anyway, so I assisted the hardware engineers who were still using slide rules, by the way. And I did the things they didn't want to do. And so I developed statistical analyses and kept records and tracked data and plotted charts with an X-Acto knife and chart tape. But the exciting thing is we were trying to be the first to get to the moon. And the programs that I was working on, I worked on the Saturn IV-B, which was a second stage booster for the big Saturn V that did the launch. So the second stage booster really was what projected farther up into space.